Good evening and welcome to the City of Pasco Council Workshop Meeting this Monday, July 14th, 2025. City thanks you for being a part of your city government. At workshop meetings, the City Council discusses issue but no formal actions taken. Agenda packets for those here present physically are available on the table underneath the fancy sign that says agendas. For those following along and via website or other electronic means, it's www.pasco-wa.gov/agenda. Is it just me or does the mic sound off? I mean, it sounds a little, anyway, whatever. We're good. As long as I can be heard, I guess that's all that matters. This meeting is being televised live on PSC-TV channel 191 in Richland and in Pasco via Spectrum Cable. And is streamed on the city's Facebook page, website, YouTube channel, and Microsoft Teams webinar. This and previous City Council meeting video is available on the city's website. Lastly, the public may submit their comments or ask questions to the council by contacting the city manager, city clerk, or by using the Ask Pasco app. With that, Ms. Clerk.
Thank you. Councilmember Barajas.
Present.
Councilmember Blaisdell.
Here.
Councilmember Grimm.
He is excused.
Thank you. Councilmember Harpster.
Present.
Councilmember Perales.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Milne.
Present.
And Mayor Serrano.
I am present.
Thank you.
Thank you with that. If you all please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you with that. With that, we'll move on to item number 4, which is our verbal reports from council members. Mr. Harpster is on and off, so you're on again.
Yeah. After our long day today, I attended the Pasco Chamber of Commerce member appreciation barbecue, which luckily was indoors at the Hapo Center. Well attended. Myself, folks from Port Pasco, FPUD, Big Bend, and Coville tribes, and just a lot of great representation, and not a lot of business coverage, just a fun event, get together, a good chance to hang out with folks. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Harpster. With that, I see no one else. Oh, Ms. Bras.
I wasn't going to share, but I'll share real quick. On an unofficial capacity, I was asked to be a speaker for the incoming graduation, not even graduating yet, for the incoming class at WSU Pullman for the year, their bilingual class. So, was able to do that. And I will share a bragging mom moment. Again, just non-official, but a bragging mom moment. Over the weekend, I was very proud to have switched the badge on my son, who is in the Army National Guard. So he was promoted to sergeant. If he's watching this, he's going to be upset. But I'm bragging. I'm very proud of my son. Thank you.
Well, you certainly should be proud. You've done a heck of a job with those boys, and thank you for their service, and thank you for your proxy service here. Just other than that, thank you for those who came out last night. We had our 3 finalists for the city council, city manager position. I think this was well attended. I didn't count heads. I'm guessing about 50 people, give or take, maybe even more. For a Sunday night, that's pretty phenomenal. And then we had the opportunity to get to know the 3 gentlemen, and we're very blessed to have had some solid applicants. So we're looking forward to moving along in that process and then keeping you all informed as we get there. So with that, seeing no further lights, that moves us along to item number 5. These are our items for discussion with opportunity for public comment. If anyone's new to us, in these workshop meetings, we allow the opportunity for up to 8 aggregate minutes of comments, total of 2 comments at 2 minutes each. What's that? Is my speaker off now?
Angela's working.
Okay. We good? Am I still off? Okay. All right. I guess. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, there was an echo. That's why I asked earlier. Okay. So anyway, the rules of engagement here: 8 minutes of total public comment, 2 pros, 2 cons, up to 2 minutes each. And it'll be limited by myself and the clock over there. So the first item, we have just 4 items tonight. Item A is resolution, Lonnie and Louis Montes lease agreement, portion of parcel number 112330 255. That's going to come from us to us from Director Rice.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, this is a lease renewal agreement for a previously leased property that was leased previously in 2015 and had two-year renewal periods, both of which expired, and the current leasee wishes to continue that lease, so we worked on updating the agreement to be a 3+2 agreement. Worked with our real estate representative to do an evaluation of the current market rate and ensure that we're meeting that, and included a 3% annual increase to ensure that we keep up with market rates. We should be right here somewhere. So here's, as pictured, here's the lease portion, which is located directly behind their building and between the animal shelter for reference. Outline of what the payment will be for the first 3 years, and then the extension, the fourth and fifth years extension, and also all lease rates, or all lease properties have to include Washington State lease excise tax, which is also included as part of the total lease agreement. So just this evening, asking council to approve the resolution to renew the lease agreement and continue as it has been for the previous 9 years. Any questions?
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
All right, thank you.
All right, then I guess we anticipate seeing that in a future meeting. With that, we'll move along to item B, which is a resolution. It's an award bid number 23506 for the 8th Street and 6th Avenue pedestrian crossing improvements project to Ellison Earthworks LLC. This is going to come to us from Director Sarah.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. As you have mentioned, this is a bid award. This project is a highway safety improvement project, so it's funded federally. We received funds for the project. Design was completed for the improvement of the crossing at 8th Street and 6th Avenue. There will be bulb outs built to shorten the distance for pedestrians crossing, as well as installation of lighting and rapid flashing beacons that will be activated by pedestrians when they want to cross. This intersection had a history of crashes, including a fatality, which is why funding was awarded for this project. The project was advertised for bids, and the lowest responsible bidder was Edison Earthworks with a bid of $351,270.09. Our engineer's estimate was $380,000, and it's listed with the accurate dollar amount in the screen. There were no irregularities found in the lowest bidder. We received 2 bids in total, but the lowest bidder had no irregularities, so we're recommending award. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have on this.
Do you have any questions or comments? Seeing none, it's always appreciated when A, we have a grant funded project, and B, it comes in right, under the dollar threshold. So thank you for keeping up your work there, and we look forward to seeing this. I do need to circle back. Do we have any public comments on item A? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay. Now I'll circle back to item B. Do we have any public comments on item B? Going once, going twice, 3 times. All right. With that, then I can move properly on to item C, which is our countywide planning policies. It looks like Director Miller, and I believe you're going to be joined here from the county, or maybe you're going to roll solo. We'll see. Haley, you're not on. There you go.
There we go. I turned the microphone on. Thank you for that. My name is Haley Miller, the Community and Economic Development Director here, and I'm joined by Wes McCart. He is the Planning and Building Director over at Franklin County. And tonight we're bringing forward to you the countywide planning policies that are developed by Franklin County in collaboration with the other cities within Franklin County. And this is one of the initial steps that we go through each time before the comprehensive plan process. And these policies have not been updated, I believe, since the last periodic cycle, which was in 2019. And then these were originally adopted in 1993. So they've been looked at. This is the second time now since the adoption. And the city council is not required to formally adopt these by resolution or ordinance. However, we do like to bring these forward to the council for review. Each city in Franklin County is bringing these forward to their decision bodies to summarize the planning policies to make sure that you are aware of the policies. And if you have any written comments or feedback, if you have feedback, I'm happy to provide something in writing to our neighbors over at Franklin County to consider this prior to adoption. The countywide planning policies sets the stage for the comprehensive plan update, as I've mentioned, and here are some regulations related to the countywide policies, and these are intended to guide growth in different policies. So most of these are fairly straightforward. We did include the clean version in the attachment, and then the marked up version with comments, and then the draft resolution that the county will be looking at. And in here we have general themes related to our urban growth areas, reducing sprawl, transportation, housing, economic development, property rights, permits, natural resources, open space, the environment, citizen participation, public facilities, historic preservation, and climate change. And so these are listed in different sections here, and the new state guidelines related to the comprehensive plan have also been built in. So there's additional stipulations at the state level, as I mentioned in our comp plan kickoff presentation, that there is more emphasis on housing with this update and different income levels and bands of housing. There's also climate change initiatives at the state level that counties and cities are required to update. We will be touching on that in more detail as we go through the comprehensive plan process. And the county and its consultant did provide a draft to all the staff at different cities to look at that, and there was quite a bit of edits that Craig, Raymond, and myself had to this, and we were able to sit down and work out most of the issues that the planning directors identified here in Pasco. So I am supportive of these changes, and I have Wes here in case you have any questions on any specific items, and I'm available too to answer questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for either our staff or Mr. Harpster?
No questions. I have reviewed most of the changes, and it just looks like a lot of catching up with recent or not so recent changes from the legislature. The only comment I have is I appreciate the coordination between the city and the county, and that's something that I've not seen for years. And so I just really appreciate that both of you, somewhat new to your positions here locally, are taking advantage of that and working together, across the street here. So thanks for that.
Mr. Prowse.
Thank you, Mayor. When is the projected adoption date for the county?
So I wanted to give time for all the cities to bring it to their council. You're the last one. As soon as I get a kind of a thumbs up that you guys are good to go with it, hopefully tonight, then I plan on publishing. 2 weeks later, we'll have the hearing. So
Okay.
approximately
Okay, thank you.
2.5, 3 weeks.
I'll take a crack at a couple questions. Just one, like looking at number 42, talking about jointly developing and implementing land division building standards, coordinating permit procedures for review and permitting. I know obviously each jurisdiction has its own authority and its own processes. What do we see then maybe more of a shared vision or shared activity through the adoption of this as we see some of these, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn as someone who doesn't develop land for a living, but it just seems that, kind of the county does its thing and the city does its thing. How do we see this maybe causing a future marriage or whatever it may be?
First, I can follow up if you
So I think the idea is that, and Haley, you can back me up, when we got here, because I'm fairly new, I came in February also, we heard a lot of angst over, the city's doing their thing, the county's doing their thing. You spoke to that, Mr. Harpster. The idea here is, can we come up with a better way of working together? Sometimes you guys annex property in, you're looking at, well, I don't really want this because it doesn't have sidewalks, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that amenity. If it's in the growth management, or in the UGA, we want to make sure that we try and align what our codes, our development codes are as they're going forward. So, Mayor, that's the impetus of this particular one, is to make it so we can work together to come up with regulations that, we're not dumping everything in the county, or we're not dumping everything dumping everything into this city. The other thing I'll add is as a former county commissioner, I've seen cities and counties that adopt these plans and just kind of put them on a shelf and let them not really work. So part of the hope here is after these are adopted, that we can work together on issues that we have mutual interest in and come up with ILAs to actually adopt things that work for both of us so we can move our entire community forward.
Well, I think you, and I know you have some comments. I appreciate you kind of preempting my thought process there and my next question, which is, my hope is that this isn't just a dust gatherer. This is something hopefully that is the impetus for joint and shared responsibility where it's appropriate. But go ahead, Director Miller.
Thank you. And I'll echo what was stated. We're both new to our positions, and I think we, definitely have different marching orders at times and different goals. Being county and city, it's just the city's developing in an urban setting, the county is not, and looking to preserve certain types of land. So there's naturally going to be a lot of coordination needed. So we have initiated bi-monthly meetings, and we might do more frequency. We're not sure, but we would like to collaborate at the planning director level and just open up communication so that we're not surprising the county with some things in annexation applications that maybe they weren't aware of, and just try at least to provide better communication. If we do end up disagreeing or directed to disagree on things, then so be it. But I think just more routine meetings between the two of us and then implementing these policies will be extremely helpful, at least on the planning side of things, and then we can keep each other apprised. So that is definitely our goal. We both noted that is maybe a need that could be improved, and we'll see where it goes.
Excellent.
Yep.
And then I'll just point to a couple of things that I think are phenomenal highlights. The countywide economic strategy in paragraph 40 or bullet number 45. I hope that we can work with the county and develop something that has some goals and some sort of, end zones to chase. I do kind of want to raise the note on 49, talking about impact fees, where of course presently we have school impact fees and we're discussing those and what to do with those in the future, whereas the county doesn't. So I do think, again, I realize this is like a policy document and something that we want to work towards co-implementing. Are there any other cost factors that we should be aware of that somehow I did not catch in my reading?
I'll just add that there's some logistical concerns that I think we've kind of hammered out in these. Some has to do with housing, some has to do with essential public facilities. A lot of those, you get into apartment buildings outside of an urban growth area or landward. I can't put in apartments in the county.
Right.
Essential public facilities, some of the facilities, and we do really want to coordinate on some of that information as we move forward. We've had some communications up north where I'm from, dealing with intensive behavioral health units. You really want to figure that out before you get that proposal in front of you. And those are conversations, once we just adopt it and start moving forward, we need to actually fine tune and go there, because it talk about costly. It can cost your police force, your fire response, your community. It can be very bad if we don't do it appropriately. So we put a lot of emphasis in that to try and make sure we're coordinating and putting those in the appropriate places, or designating for appropriate places.
I appreciate that.
And as far as cost, I think some of the state regulations related to climate change or housing could cost us some money in planning. We do have grants that cover this. I didn't see anything in here that would result in like a direct cost today. These are policies. If there was some language in the essential public facilities that we work through to make it more like not as specific, to leave it open. So when we do have those discussions, then we can kind of start from scratch between both entities instead of alluding to maybe a potential solution in here. So we looked through this very closely and collaborated pretty well. And I think that I'm supportive of these as written. And if we do need to get into talks about money or financing, we can do that outside of these, and it just sort of hints at it in the policies.
Excellent. Thank you. Looks like we have no further comment from council. So with that, appreciate your time. Do we have any public comment on this issue? Going once, going twice, third time. Right on. Thank you for that time. Miss Miller, give you some time to get to your seat because I know you're up next. So that moves us along to item D, which is our federal FY26 federal funding for community development block grant and home HOME programs. We got a discussion on this. Again, it's directed by Miss Miller.
Good evening, council. This is meant to be a discussion, and then there's a question here at the end related to the city's community development block grant program and the home fund program. And the city last week was notified by a group at the federal level that the CDBG funding and home funding may not make it into the appropriations for 2026. And as of today, I heard CDBG was back in the funding. So I think the message we're trying to give to you tonight is that it is up in the air. It's not a guarantee. So there is a chance that the new administration would eliminate funding for this program, and we just won't know for sure until later on. If the funding is eliminated, that would impact Pasco, possibly related to the Section 108 loan that was secured in 2020. And this is a loan that you're allowed to take out if you're a CDBG program participant. And I believe the city secured this for a project at Peanuts Park Mercantile. And the loan was originally taken out for $3.7 million. And we have paid since then each year out of the CDBG funds $245,000 a year. So the loan is down to $2.8 million. And we're not sure if the loan would be forgiven if the funds disappear or what all the details entail at this point. But it was meant to just give you a heads up that this could be coming. And our main question tonight for the group is, would the city council be supportive of the city providing a letter of support to keep these programs in place to be sent to, I believe, Congress to consider while working on their budget? Happy to answer any questions or take in your feedback if you have any.
Thank you. Mr. Prowse.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I would be in support of this letter. Just a few questions. Would this, the projects, this was for the Peanuts Park itself, right? Okay. Would this be, would we be able to get perhaps some state money to pay for this if this money were to go away? Like a one-time money like we do for the MLK Center and all that stuff?
You look like you're reaching for your microphone, so I'll let.
Yeah, I will, I guess, take that answer. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Yeah, unlikely. State's got their own budget issues, as Council's aware. They have a multi-billion-dollar deficit they're trying to plug right now. Might require a special session, so I don't. Plus, they're looking at having to backfill some other essential services that could be impacted by reforms in Medicare and Medicaid.
Okay. I guess my follow-up question would be, then if, hopefully it is forgiven, but if it's not, then we're pulling this from the general fund?
Yeah, that would probably be an option, although I don't know that that's the only option. There might be some other things we could look at. You have your 194 fund, economic development, some potential to be able to tap into.
So
It definitely would impact the city, though, and other plans.
yeah, I want to get into minutia, but so do we make monthly payments on this loan, or just once a year?
I think they're once a year, and they're out of our CBDG allocation.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prowse. Mr. Harpster.
Yeah, I would certainly be in favor of submitting this letter on behalf of the city. I think it's unlikely to do anything, but I think it's important for us to do what we can. And the CDBG program is a program that I definitely support. I mean, just looking at what we funded last year, a few things. We got chip miner rehab program, Peanuts Park North, facade improvement program, City of Pasco playground equipment, ADA improvements. These, to me, are all worthwhile projects. And so if there's anything that we can do to petition the federal government or our legislators in any way, I think we should.
Thank you. Just a couple quick questions. Can you clarify whether this is the president's budget or the actual congressional appropriations bill? that we're seeing this stricken from?
Yeah, this is the administration's budget. Just to comment on that. So first Monday of February is when the administration's budget is due, the president's budget. That rarely, if ever, happens by that date in February. So that just came out, and the administration's proposal was to eliminate funding for CBDG in the home program. It's due to be completed October 1st, the budget approved and adopted. Again, rarely ever happens, as council is well aware. We've been kind of living on continuing resolutions for many years, different administrations. You know, it's not a Republican or Democrat thing, it just happens. Republicans and Democrats are behind it, though, I'll say, because they're the legislators. But I think a lot of negotiations happen between the time it's submitted and the time it's finally adopted, including what may or may not be in continuing resolutions. So, while the president may have this, taken this position, his administration may have taken this position, don't know that Congress is there. And, you know, probably pretty doubtful that they're there given the benefit of these programs. But it's, you know, it's a nuanced dance, the whole budget process. And I think we've all kind of seen, and this is no criticism of the administration at all, we've all kind of seen that, you know, this is a negotiation. You know, we're negotiating probably a lot more than taking things at status quo and taking them for granted than what we've seen from other administrations, and this is probably somewhat of a symptom of that. You know, is this the bottom line of the president? To be determined.
I appreciate that, Dave, and that's why I asked the question. Knowing that it's in the presidential budget, there's a whole process that's going to happen over the next 4 to 24 months, depending on how many CRs we see. And, you know, obviously that there are some big dollars that come into this community or adjacent communities through the Hanford site, and continuing resolutions have some pretty disruptive issues community-wide. So point there is, I do think that Congressman Newhouse's office would be receptive to a letter like this, presumably Congressman Baumgartner as well. And I think we could also, you know, petition our 2 senators. I know that certainly Cantwell staff is very present. Rich, you know, I get frequent pings from him, and Senator Murray's staff is also present as well. But I do think there's an opportunity for us to request that these funds remain in the budget, and I think this letter would be appropriate. Anything else from anyone else? Okay. Look forward to seeing that letter soon. Any public comment on this issue? Going once, twice, third time? All right. With that, we're going to move along on to item number 6, which are miscellaneous council discussion. Mr. Interim City Manager.
I wouldn't dare tonight, given the day you all had.
Thank you. And I see no lights from here. So that moves us along to item number 7, executive session, none listed, presumably that's true?
No need.
Excellent. That moves us along to a 7:28 p.m. adjournment. Thank you for all for being with us.